Hello and welcome to the weekend edition of National Focus. I am Tarnia Green. Thanks for joining us. Coming up on National Focus, Education Minister leads delegation to St. Martin to promote the Dominica State College. Dominica observe Earth Science Week with a focus on volcanoes, and the St. Joseph community recognized 26 groups and individuals. Stay with me as I bring you the details of these and other stories coming up right after the break.
There is a silent, invisible killer in our midst, a killer which largely goes unnoticed as it plies its deadly trade. Its name is secondhand tobacco smoke, which has a far greater impact on persons inhaling this poison than on smokers themselves. Secondhand tobacco smoke is especially detrimental in public places and negatively impacts our national health as well as public health expenditure. Stop this invisible killer now. Say no to secondhand tobacco smoke in public places. A public health message brought to you by the Ministry of Health and the Pan American Health Organization.
Welcome back. Time now for the details of the news. The Office of Disaster Management in Dominica has partnered with the Seismic Research Center of the University of the West Indies UWI St. Augustine in Trinidad to observe Earth Science Week 2013. A team from the Seismic Research Center is visiting Dominica this week, creating greater awareness among the population about volcanoes. Stacey Edwards told media representatives on Thursday that the awareness is being done as part of activities to celebrate the center's 60th anniversary.
As part of that celebration, we've been doing a series of activities throughout the year to commemorate our anniversary, and we wanted to include Dominica in that celebration. The Seismic Center monitors earthquakes, volcanoes, and tsunamis for the English-speaking islands of the Eastern Caribbean, and that includes Dominica. So we decided to hold our Earth Science Week activities in Dominica this year so that Dominica could be part of our 60th anniversary celebrations.
Edwards says a wide cross-section of nationals, including school children, has been educated on the island's volcanic hazards.
This year we're in Dominica for Earth Science Week, trying to bring attention to Dominica's volcanic hazards. We have been partnering with the Office of Disaster Management to identify areas, communities, as well as schools where we can go into the community and do some sensitization exercises. The week of activities have focused primarily on targeting secondary and primary school students. We started out in Portsmouth, moved on to Roseau, then in Grand Bay. Today we're at the Carib Territory, where we've been basically doing volcano awareness workshops with primary and secondary school students. Tomorrow we will be doing an educational hike, which will be led together with the ODM in partnership with Dr. Joseph.
The seismic research official used the opportunity to assure Dominicans that all 9 volcanoes on the island continue to be dormant and there is no need to be alarmed.
We are here as part of our routine public awareness activities. There's nothing special going on with the volcanoes. The volcanoes are all at background level as far as we know. There's no heightened volcanic activity. We are here simply to remind Dominicans that they live on an island where there are 9 live volcanoes, and even though they're quiet at the moment, they are by no means dead, and they can erupt, and so people should always kind of be aware of that, and that is our reason for bringing attention to this.
The Seismic Research Center of the University of the West Indies St. Augustine is the official source of information on earthquakes and volcanoes in the English-speaking Eastern Caribbean. In more news, the Dominica State College is actively pursuing the enrollment of regional and international students. Minister for Education and Human Resource Development, Honorable Peter Seja, led a 4-member delegation to St. Martin last Monday to promote the DSC as a premier institution for higher education. The 4-member delegation included Minister Seja, Chairman of the DSC Board of Governors, Brian Mead, Dr. Donald Peters, President of the DSC, and Darrell Titt, Press Attaché in the Office of the Prime Minister. The delegation was received by Honorable Van Hugh Cornelius de Weaver, Minister for Public Health, Social Development and Labor, and a team from St. Martin's Ministry of Education. A release from government's press attaché on Friday stated that during the meeting, Dominica's education minister spoke to the St. Martin education officials about the advantages of students from St. Martin attending the Dominica State College. Dominica's education minister also highlighted the DSC's ability to provide competitive higher-level education, in particular for areas suited for St. Martin's labor market, including tourism, healthcare, and education. According to the news release, the head of the State College, Dr. Donald Peters, gave a detailed PowerPoint presentation which focused on the faculties and programs offered by the college. Dr. Peters also spoke of the many DSC graduates who were now studying at universities in the United States and Europe. He explained that the credits obtained by these students from the DSC had significantly reduced the cost and length of studies at overseas universities. The St. Martin education officials expressed optimism and great interest. They now view the DSC as a viable and financially beneficial option for higher education for St. Martin students. Both sides have agreed to continue dialogue with follow-up meetings and visits. In other news, 28 parents from the village of Warner are now better equipped with the skills to assisting their young children reach their fullest developmental potential. This is the result of an intense parenting training program organized by the Roving Caregivers Program, the RCP, and the Warner Primary School. On Wednesday, these proud parents received certificates of completion and are eager to put into practice what they have learned. Janet Lawrence, a mother of 7, said that the program was indeed very beneficial to her. She says she now has a better understanding of how to discipline her children.
No longer do I shout, but I speak calmly and they understand. I listen to them. I speak to them about things that they have done which I do not appreciate. I congratulate them when they do well. Things I would not even dream of doing. The Roaming Caregiver Program has served us all well, and indeed we are thankful. We are all better parents, I am sure, all because of this program.
Parents from Warner are not the only ones who have benefited from this program. It is based on testimonies from Janet and others that the National Bank of Dominica has seen the need to support the expansion of the Roving Caregivers Program in communities across Dominica. Back in 2010, the bank, as part of its corporate responsibility, made available over $300,000 for the expansion of the RCP program in 10 new communities.
We at the NBD understand that in order to attain sustainable economic prosperity in Dominica, we must invest in education. We must invest in educating our people, and the best place to start is with the young ones. Because once the foundation is set, success is much more likely. The RCP program is dear to us at NBD because we see the potential of the program to transform individuals, to transform communities, and to transform our country. And we are happy that you have decided to participate in the program for the benefit of your children, and you will not regret it.
The Roving Caregivers Program is also receiving extraordinary support from the government of Dominica. Parliamentary representative for the Maho constituency, which extends to Warner, Honorable Rayburn Blackmore, is delighted that the program is reaching parents most in need.
I think that this program is not only timely but significant, and is consistent with the government overall developmental plan. And we know that we're placing significant emphasis on early childhood development because it's the formative years of a child's development.
The RCP Parenting Training Program received support from the East Dominica Children's Federation, an affiliate of Child Fund Caribbean. And in the spirit of community development, 26 individuals and groups of St. Joseph were publicly appreciated for their contributions to the community with an award ceremony on Thursday evening at Matthews Hall. St. Joseph Parliamentary Representative Honorable Kelva Daru, along with the Village Council, collaborated to put on a display of community spirit witnessed by Prime Minister Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit, residents and the media. Prime Minister Skerrit, who says he feels connected to St. Joseph because of his regular presence there, wants that community to recognize its achievements in building national pride.
This community has in fact produced, as the Parliament has said, many distinguished Dominicans. And you have to be proud of who you are as a people. And you must not allow people to come to define who you are. You must define who you are in St. Joseph. And you're right, people must not come and speak down to you or ridicule you in any way, because St. Joseph has produced some of the best and brightest brains in our country. And people who have made us proud and the region proud in music, in sports, and other areas of endeavor.
Honorable Daru acknowledged that Thursday's ceremony grew from a general sense of appreciation.
In this community of St. Joseph, we have persons who have contributed towards the farming sector, persons who have contributed towards the fishing industry, a number of our teachers who have retired and who have made a significant mark, left a significant mark on the lives of the young people in this community. A number of the bus drivers, the sports personalities here in this community, and even our young people, they have left a mark thus far. And I felt it necessary to award these individuals for their contribution.
Honorable Daru called out to St. Joseph residents to self-introspect, to question their own contributions to the development of their community, and to display a sense of pride.
And I am proud to be a Jacenjo. No matter what people say about St. Joseph, I was born here. And I'm proud to be a Jacenjo. And I will continue to make a meaningful contribution to this community. Because I realize, my dear friends, that this is the community which has made me who I am today. And so if there are persons from St. Joseph who are not proud to be from St. Joseph, then I don't know if you belong in this community. And I know a lot of the sons and daughters of this community who will be receiving their awards this afternoon. They are proud sons and daughters of St. Joseph.
The 27 awards went to contributors in the areas of health, culture, community spirit, farming, youth affairs, and baking, among numerous others. Peter Joseph received the first award for his 30-plus years of service to the St. Joseph Village Council. Delbert Daly and Roy Marshall for sports, and Kelcha Breezy for her participation in the Miss Dominica pageant. President of the Dominica Cancer Society, Vina Roye, was recognized for her dedicated service to the community. Prime Minister Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit announced that at that event that Roye will be awarded on a national level for service to her country. She will receive Dominica's third highest award, the Meritorious Service Award. The country's leader made his own contribution to the community when he handed over a $40,000 check to the Village Council.
I really want to commend the chairman and the councillors and Ms. Prevo here for having put in place an excellent program under the small business unit, to the point where we in the Ministry of Employment are using the St. Joseph model and replicating it in other parts of the country towards addressing the issue of unemployment. And I recall I made a promise, because there was an additional amount of $40,000 required to assist everybody who had applied, because what the $200,000 we gave the first time was not sufficient to support all who had applied. And I felt that we needed to support everybody who applied for the support, for the assistance. And I was told you needed an extra $40,000 to complete that arrangement. And as is a usual custom on the part of the Prime Minister of the country and the party which I lead and the government which I lead, promises made are promises kept. And whenever we say we will do something, we will do it by the grace and help of God.
Discussions are ongoing on the finalization of plans for the construction of a modern state-of-the-art hospital in Goodwill. During the past few weeks, a technical team from the People's Republic of China have been reviewing the designs for the new facility, which will be funded by the People's Republic of China. Acting Hospital Director Dr. Ruby Blah told GIS News this week that various stakeholders are involved in the discussions.
We've been working very hard to ensure that the needs of Dominica, of Dominicans, and not just our present-day needs, but room for expansion and the services that we will want to add to the hospital, that all of those are taken into consideration in the new building. We think if those plans and suggestions are added to what has already been proposed, that we should really end up with a wonderful facility which will allow a better environment for carrying out the services that we already do presently, but even as importantly, to allow for expansion of services over the next few years.
The new health facility will be built on the grounds of the existing Princess Margaret Hospital and will include phased construction of 14 separate buildings.
We have an outpatient hall which consists of 1 floor. We have outpatient services which will be 2 floors, whereby patients can be able, with their outpatient, can come in and have outpatient services. We have 2 medical, we expect to get to receive 2 medical technology buildings, each consisting of 3 floors. One of those will hold the operating theater, which has 5 operating theaters within them, 5 operating theater rooms. And also within this building, we will have the hyperbaric chamber. The other medical technology building, which also has 3 floors, will hold the radiology department and the clinical or medical lab. In terms of our inpatients, which consists of the medical inpatients and the surgical inpatients consisting of male and female, we will have 2 separate buildings, each having 4 floors. We'll also have a teaching facility which consists of 2 floors.
Brian explained that the new facility will include a variety of medical and surgical wards.
We expect 2 other types of wards, for example, wards which have double occupancy, which are kind of semi-private, and the final type of ward, classification of or category of ward we will have, will be private wards, as we used to have in the 60s and back. And also too, we will have some isolation wards within all the various departments, for example, medical, surgical, etc. And within all the structures, we also expect accessibility to persons with disability.
The new hospital building will also include an auditorium, which will accommodate 300 people, an administrative block, and a dormitory. Health Minister Honorable Julius Timothy explained that the facility will be furnished with modern medical equipment.
We are also getting from the Chinese a new MRI, the new ultrasound equipment, which is latest, the state-of-the-art, with new mammogram and a whole host of other things, including 5 operating theaters.
Consultants of the Pan American Health Organization are expected to visit the island soon to review the designs to ensure that it meets international requirements. And that's the English segment of the news. McPherson, St. Louis comes up next with the Creole highlights.
Allô tout le monde, bienvenue à cette nouvelle en Creole. Non, moi, c'est McPherson, St. Louis. Premièrement, le ministre de l'Agriculture a conduit un programme pour éliminer citrus greening disease. Parole celle-là sorti officier quarantine Ryan Ansem.
Et pas un bon travail pour nous dans la commune. Tout le monde Dominica a coupé puis citron puis bagay. Moun ni pour comprendre si nous pas faire ça, maladie ça là pas ni guérison. So nous programme là nous qu'a fait pour nous try éliminer maladie ça en Dominique. Pour nous garder comment moun ça planter citrus, planter plant bagay yo. So moun ni pour travailler avec ministre agriculture, nous savons moun pas aimer ça, c'est pas un travail ou qui aimer sous ni on peut citron ou ka ouais peut citron ni enlever ou on moun ka venir ka don pour couper. Ça nous les moun nous couper jodia demain des années 4 années qui viennent où ça plante citrus. Si nous pas faire ça ou pas que planter citrus là jamais, so nous les éliminer maladie ça donc nous avons bonne chance parce que nous avons un programme là nous ka contrôler vecteur là. Vector c'est en Tibet, en Tibog qui est citrus silid là nous avons programme là nous ka mener d'autres Tibet pour gommer contre lui. So programme ça là encore c'est éliminer ces plants qui maladie, contrôler vecteur et pêcher moun si mais maladie à tout le Dominique.
À la nouvelle, gouvernement Dominique en collaboration avec l'European Union a finalisé plan pour conduire au census pour agriculture en Dominique l'année 2014. Bagay ça l'a discuté pendant une consultation qui prend place jeudi semaine ça. Census ça là qui conduit pour assister le gouvernement fait meilleure décision qu'a concerné le développement agricole en Dominique. Consultation là tient à une manière pour préparer stakeholders pour l'activité là. Angus McIntyre de l'Office European Union ici en Dominique fait parole que census ça là bien important qu'on initie pour BAM, ça c'est Banana Accompanying Measures. Organisation DOM qui a aussi bien supporté le programme ça là. À la nouvelle, Wivendes qui une licence Hot City Council qui one service à l'occasion Public Service Union et puis yo piqué sa van à ce côté Chimé Festival Creole in the Park. Parole celle-là sorti au superintendent police David Andrew.
Nous tenions une discussion et puis maire Wozo et nous prenons une décision qui tout ces monde ça qui veulent van à ce côté Chimère, yo pas que ça fait ça à ce Valley Road, yo pas que ça fait ça à ce Windsor Lane. Yo que mettez yo dans PSU. PSU là, c'est ya yo mettez yo mais de ces les autres là qui yo que ni licence à bas line yo que ont tué à dedans botanique là. Garden jardin botanique là pour vendre c'est les autres là qui pas de place là et puis mais ozo bio certificat pour vendre yo que mettez yo en dedans PSU.
Finalement, Division Culture a organisé exposition symposium Creole compas activité célébration indépendante Dominique l'année 2013. Octobre 28 café 30 l'année depuis Dominique a célébré journée Creole. En mai 1983, Mam Banzil Creole joint en Louisiane l'Amérique où là été bien intéressant en héritage Creole Dominique et puis d'accord qui 28 octobre tous les l'année qui observé comme journée Creole. Symposium ça qui prend place le 22 pour le 24 octobre en deux occasions, Kai Culture Arawak et puis Jardin Botanique. Événement ça qui mène ensemble plusieurs aspects Creole, tout en latin. Messieurs, mesdames, ça c'est tout pour nouvelles en Creole pour à présent. Non, moi c'est McPherson Saint Luce. Qu'à souhaiter tout le monde un bon week-end et une bonne saison indépendante. Au revoir.
We now join Joanna Hector with this week's headline stories in this week's edition of Flashback.
Welcome to this week's edition of Flashback. In the headlines this week, the Aid Bank announced that it has partnered with the Caribbean Development Bank to offer concessionary loans to micro, small and medium-sized businesses which are interested in implementing energy-efficient and renewable energy initiatives in their enterprises. On Wednesday, the island's focus turned to sustaining food security and nutrition with the observation of World Food Day. The theme, Sustainable Food Systems for Food Security and Nutrition, called attention to today's unsustainable models of development which are said to be degrading the natural environment and threatening ecosystems that will be needed for the future of the world's food supply. It was announced this week that Dominica has been recognized as leading Caribbean countries in developing geothermal resources as an alternative to fossil fuel sources. The island's energy minister also revealed that at the end of October, production well drilling will commence. A backyard gardening enhancement project to combat micronutrient deficiencies in southeastern communities in Dominica was officially launched in La Plaine this week. The project will allow members of those communities to enhance their livelihoods, economic standards, as well as their health. And 367 young men and women graduated from the Dominica State College this week, exactly 25 less than last year's new record of graduates. This year's record, however, was that the new $33 million Dominica State College facility housed that ceremony. Those are the headline stories which made the news this week. Back to you, Tanya.
Thank you, Jana. Coming up, the tip of the day. How can you develop a positive mental attitude? Stay with us.
Do you have uncovered water storage drums around your home? Do you dispose of old tires, cans and old containers capable of holding water anywhere in your environment? Are you being bitten by mosquitoes, particularly at dusk and early morning? Do you keep houseplants in water? Do you spend your hard-earned cash to control mosquitoes? Has your community experienced dengue fever outbreaks? If your answer is yes to at least 3 questions above, you are at risk to dengue fever. Join the fight against dengue fever. The responsibility for a dengue-free Dominica lies with you. So, get rid of the Aedes aegypti mosquito.
Remember, the thoughts that you think and the statements you make regarding yourself determine your mental attitude. If you have a worthwhile objective, find the one reason why you can achieve it rather than hundreds of reasons why you can't. And that's all for this edition of National Focus. We always welcome your suggestions and comments. Drop us an email at gis@dominica.gov.dm or visit our website at news.gov.dm. On behalf of the entire news production team, I'm your presenter, Tarnia Green. Thank you so much for watching, and do remember to join us next week. Have a wonderful weekend.
Thank you.